Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Google Digital Garage. Just before we get fully started, just so that we can all definitely see and hear me okay, if you're having any problems at all with the picture or the sound or anything else to do with the video, the best thing that you can do is just refresh the page. That fixes most of our issues. And if you're still having problems, especially to do with buffering, then the best thing that you can do is go to the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube video and click the little cog button there. And that will take you to your YouTube settings, and you can fiddle about with those until everything is working fine. Welcome to Creating Video for YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, my name is Zoe. I'm going to be your coach for today, or your trainer for today, and I'm going to take you through all the different steps in the process of creating video for YouTube. Bit of background about myself. So I'm a digital marketer. I've been working in marketing for, it'll be 10 years in October, which is making me feel very old. And in that time, I've done lots of different work with lots of different clients. I've worked for agencies. I've worked for myself. I currently run a marketing agency with my partner, just a little one, nothing too massive. And I've learned a lot in that time about creating content, and some of that content has been video. And so I'm hopefully going to be able to pass on some of that knowledge, some of that experience that I've gained myself from doing this for so long, and use that to help you guys understand how you can go about creating the very best videos that you can for YouTube, and really just making the most of a really good platform. Video is obviously a fantastic medium. Video is a really engaging form of content, and we'll be looking at that in a little bit. And I'm sure you've got your own sort of reasons for wanting to get into creating videos yourself. But I am not alone. I'm not the only person who's going to be helping you out today, because I'm also joined by Alison. Now, Alison is our moderator for today. And what that means is that she's going to be there in the chat, and she's going to be talking to you guys. She is going to be sharing links. She's going to be asking you questions. And of course, she's also going to be answering questions that you guys have. We do have some breaks in the session for questions. If you do have anything you'd like to ask, just pop it down in the chat, and Alison will get back in touch with you. And she'll pass along as well any questions that you have for me, or that she would rather I answered, either because they're just quite complicated and she's only got, I think, about 200 characters to answer them. So that can be a little bit difficult depending on the question. Or if she just thinks that the answer would be really beneficial for everybody to hear rather than just on a one-on-one basis. So absolutely do make sure you're interacting using that live chat function. You're asking questions. You can do that as long as you've got a YouTube account. So if you don't have a YouTube account, you would like to join in with the live chat, all you need to do is click on your little there's a little circular button in the top right corner, and it'll tell you to sign up there. It takes about 30 seconds. You can get it done before we really crack on with the meat of the session. Last thing before we move on, just a quick sort of nudge is that we have got a lot of other different webinars available for you guys to watch. They are all completely free. They're all just like this one. Most of them are around an hour long, and they just are on YouTube with the live chat function. All you need to do is go to the link in our video description, and it'll take you to all of our webinars, and you can see we've got them on a number of different topics. So, take a look there, see what we have to offer, and see if there's anything that sort of takes your fancy that you'd like to learn more about. So what are we going to look at today? Well, we've got 3 different sections to this particular presentation. We've got 3 segments for most of our presentations, in fact. And those 3 sections are as follows. So the first thing we're going to look at is finding your niche. What content are you going to actually create? What videos are you going to put onto YouTube? You need to know what kind of thing you want to create before you can start actually creating it. So we're going to look at finding that first of all. Then we're going to look at how to actually go about creating that content, so the practical aspects of filming a video, editing it, uploading it, all the things you need to know. And then last but not least, we're going to look at the sort of the SEO elements of YouTube, of finding of getting people to find you, finding your channel, finding your videos, so that you can build up an audience for what you have to offer. Now, just before we get into the actual session, one last thing from me, which is that we do have free one-to-one mentoring available. The link is there on the screen, and I'm sure Alison wouldn't mind sharing in the chat as well. It's g.co/UK mentoring. If you are a small business or a charity and you are based in the UK, you can sign up for a free hour-long mentoring session with one of the Google Digital Garage trainers, just like possibly myself, for example. This is going to be for whatever you want. If you've got questions about SEO or analytics or Facebook ads, really any aspect of marketing or just getting your business online, you can ask them and you can get all of that information completely free just by heading to that link that is on the screen and I think now in the chat as well. Thank you very much for that, Alison. So do make sure you're taking advantage of that. It is a fantastic little offer. Like I said, it's completely free for anybody working for a small business or a charity based in the UK. So let's look a little bit about YouTube. Now, YouTube probably won't surprise you to hear that YouTube is a enormous website. And by enormous, I mean it's got a huge audience. As you can see on the slide there, 2 billion users every month, 2 billion logged in users as well. There's plenty of people who use YouTube without logging into an account. And that 2 billion doesn't even factor them in. So there's probably more than, in fact, there's certainly more than 2 billion users of YouTube every single month. That is obviously an enormous audience. That audience watches 1 billion hours. Excuse me, sorry. Sneeze caught up on me then. That audience watches 1 billion hours of content every day, including you as that audience watching content right now, watching me sneeze. That's, again, a large audience watching a lot of different content. It can get intimidating, these figures, and I do want to just point out that, yes, there are 2 billion users every month. That's a lot of people. There's a lot of a big potential audience, but they are also all watching a huge range of different content creators. So there's a lot of room still for new creators, new content that are part of that 500 hours of video that is uploaded every single minute. And of course, it's also the second largest search engine in the world. Now, the first largest is Google, but YouTube is also a search engine. If you're looking for a particular video, you'll type it into the search bar. And people use YouTube like a search engine. And that's what we're going to be looking at in the last section of this presentation, because again, people do use YouTube to find the answers to questions that they would have. Just me personally, if I was looking for, I don't know, a historical fact, if I was looking, when was Winston Churchill born or something like that, I'd go to Google or I'd go to another search engine potentially. If I was looking for something practical, though, if I was looking for how to bleed a radiator or how to cook a casserole, I'd go to YouTube because I'm a visual learner. I learn by watching other people do things, and I learn better from videos than I do from reading. So I would go to YouTube and I'd watch a video on how to do those things. That's what we mean by people using YouTube like a search engine. It's not just for people thinking, well, I want to watch this specific video or this specific creator. It's also there so people who have questions can find answers to those questions. And that's where potentially you can be, and you can put your content right in front of the people who are looking for it. And of course, YouTube has got some values that are important to remember as we go ahead. So YouTube has 4 main, they call them their essential values of freedom: freedom of expression, of information, of opportunity, and freedom to belong. And what that means is that YouTube is built on the principles that you should be able to express yourself, that you should be able to share your story openly and creatively, that everybody should have easy and open access to all information, that everyone should have the same sort of opportunity to both find the great things that they want to watch, but also be found, and freedom to belong. Everyone should have the freedom to find communities and build those communities online. And YouTube is built to do all 4 of these things. So let's start out by finding your niche. What is it that you would like to create? What is it that you could do on YouTube, on this channel, and how can you do that? How can you find that particular niche, that particular area of the internet that you have expertise in? So first off, there are 3 questions that you should ask yourself. What is your channel about? Why are you creating content, and who is your audience? These are sort of the foundations of your channel, right? These are the things that you're going to build everything off. So what is your channel about? And answer that question in as little words as possible. My channel is about cleaning or cooking or cars or toys or films. That really, really broad strokes. That's what your channel is about. Why are you creating content? What do you hope to achieve with your content? Do you want to build a community? Do you want to inform people, teach people? Do you want to entertain people, maybe make them laugh? Do you want to keep them in the loop about new releases? Do you want to help them form opinions about things? And then last of all, who is your audience? What kind of person is going to watch your content? Is it younger, older, male, female, non-binary? What are their interests? Do they have a job? What do they work as? All of these little things are going to determine what sort of thing it engages them, what kind of thing entertains them. And so it's going to determine what kind of video you can produce. And that's going to help you narrow down your niche. Now, the really important word on this slide, the word that I think I'd like to focus on is passion. That's why we've sort of highlighted it in red. We're not just looking at sort of what are you vaguely interested in? What do you think you know a little bit about? YouTube isn't easy. And content creation isn't easy, and video takes a long time to do. So we don't want to encourage you to do a YouTube channel about something you just kind of are interested in. We want to find something that you're passionate about. And the reason for that is simple, is that you're not going to do your best work if you're not passionate. You're not going to put the hours in, and it's going to come across when you create your videos that you're not necessarily a passionate creator. We want you to find that thing that you're passionate about. Everybody has that thing that they are passionate about, whether it's, marketing. Obviously, I'm passionate about it. That's why I'm here in front of the camera. But also, I'm passionate about history. I'm passionate about music, about martial arts. I have other things that maybe I could create content about, that I would be confident that I would want to do that. Not that I would have the time to create another YouTube channel, but I'd be confident that I'd want to do that because they are things that I'm passionate about. So that's really important. Think about what is important to you, especially if you're not sure what your YouTube channel could be about. Think about what your passions are. Everybody has them. It may be that you just need to do a little bit of thinking to work out what exactly your passions are. And then once you've got your passions, you can then think about your goals. So a goal is what you hope to achieve with your YouTube channel. Why does it exist? So here we've got some examples of different channels. So we've got Mama Cherry. I want to inspire people to love and cook soul food. Really important the way that Mama Cherry has phrased that. They haven't just put, I want to get people to cook soul food. I want to inspire people to love and cook soul food. Just like that, we get a little bit more information about what her channel is about, why she is creating that. And you can probably guess what kind of vibe her videos have as a result of that goal. That's why the goal is so important. What do you want to achieve? That's what's going to set Mama Cherry apart from other YouTube channels that also focus on cooking soul food. Super Sorrel there. I want to create a community of adult nostalgic toy collectors. Again, it's not just I want to make videos about nostalgic toys. It's I want to create a community of collectors. Again, that's what's going to set him apart from other creators making content about the same subject. And then Detailing World, I want to share my passion for cleaning cars. Don't just want to give you tips, don't just want to give you information, want to make you feel passionate about it, just like they are. So again, these are three different goals. Even if they were the same topic, if we said, Mama Cherry wants to inspire people to love and cook soul food, but what if Super Sorrel was also a soul food creator? Wants to create a community of adult soul food lovers, and Detailing World wants to share their passion for soul food. Even though they would all be the same basic subject of soul food, those are still three different channels, right? Three different channels with three different goals. So the videos are likely to be quite different. That's important to remember. So a little activity for you guys to do then. What is your what and what is your why? What is your channel about and why does your channel exist? Think about what that could be. So this is great homework. This is something that you can do in your own time. It's a really useful exercise, though. Definitely one that is worth doing. So, for example, a what could be, I mentioned martial arts earlier. Okay, so my what is martial arts. My why might be to give people the confidence to defend themselves. There we go. We've got a what and a why. A different why would lead to a different, completely different channel. My what could still be martial arts, but my why could be to get people excited about watching martial arts competitions. Again, a very, very different channel. By focusing on that why, why do we want this channel to exist? Why do we want to create videos? You give yourself a purpose, and it really does help you narrow down the kind of videos you are going to want to create and why you want to create them in the first place. Then we have to think about our audience. Who is it who's going to watch your videos? Now, sometimes this is easier than others. Sometimes you've already got a kind of inbuilt audience in mind, or at least the start of one. So we're going to look at Detailing World now. Now, Detailing World, you'll remember if I go back a couple of slides, Detailing World is the one who's got a passion for cleaning cars. It's all about car detailing. But if we look at Detailing World's potential audience, well, we've already got some things that we can identify as part of that audience, right? Our target audience is going to be someone who owns a car for a start, or leases a car maybe. It's going to be someone who's proud of their car as well, not just something that's very functional, utilitarian. It's not just something that you use to get the kids to school. It's something that they're proud of, that they're enthusiastic about. Otherwise, they're not going to get passionate about detailing. And remember, the purpose of the channel is to get people passionate about detailing. So we've got the start of a target audience there. What we're going to do is use that to build a persona, which is what's on the screen right now. So we know that our persona is somebody who owns a car and is pretty passionate about it, or pretty proud of owning it. Wants it to be clean, wants it to be neat, wants it to look its best. So we can build out from there. So we've built this persona of Rohan. Now, when we talk about building a persona, like it says there on the screen, it's a representation of your audience. It's a picture of the average audience member. It means that we can go into a little bit more detail than if we were talking about a group of people. If we were talking about your audience as a group, we might say, well, we're talking about car owners. But that's not detailed enough. We want to really narrow it down and get into the nitty-gritty of things. So we've got Rohan. Rohan is 27 years old. Rohan is male. Rohan works 9 to 5, based in the UK. We could be more detailed about that, by the way. Based in the UK? All right. Where in the UK? Are we talking about someone who lives in a city, for example, or lives in a suburb or in the countryside? Those three things are going to change a little bit about the audience and change the kind of content we might create. We know Rohan is a car enthusiast, so we can guess that Rohan probably goes to car shows, probably goes to online forums about car ownership, probably goes to YouTube in order to learn things, maybe about his car, maybe about other things. But we've also identified that somebody who has a car, somebody who is that kind of stable income, probably maybe has a family life. So Rohan has 2 kids. And if someone's got 2 kids, you can probably assume they're going to be short of time a lot because kids take up a lot of time. As far as I'm aware, I don't have any of my own, so who knows? But as far as I'm aware, kids do take up a lot of time. So we can guess a lot about Rohan. There are tools available to help you out with all of this. There's a really good tool called Find My Audience, which is based entirely around YouTube, that you can use to start narrowing down your audience. But we want this kind of level of detail. Some of it's going to be educated guesswork. We don't know that our audience average age is 27. But we can probably guess that most people who are that interested in their cars maybe are around that age. That might be an example of educated guesswork. So we've got the what, the why, and the who for Detailing World then. We know that Detailing World channel is all about cars. It's the passion. Looking after cars is Detailing World's passion. We know why Detailing World has their channel, and that's because they want to share their knowledge and teach others. And we know who we are creating content for. We're creating content for Rohan, who is a car enthusiast who has been researched and created. Just knowing those things, you've probably already got a decent idea of what kind of content Detailing World's going to create, right? So think about what you could do if you created that, the answers to those questions, what, why, and who, for your own YouTube channel, and how it would already give you a bit of a kickstart in terms of working out what kind of content to create. So we have our first question session. Looks like we haven't got any questions, which is absolutely fine. If you do have any questions, you can just pop them in the chat, and Alison will, of course, pass any over to me, except for the ones that she's going to answer herself. But in the meantime, let's move on to the next session, or the next section, sorry, of the session, which is creating engaging content. So a bit of a question for you guys to think about, all of the many people watching the YouTube video right now. What do you think makes engaging YouTube content? It's something to think about. I can tell you that what makes content engaging for me, but it's going to be different for everybody. So to me, an engaging piece of content is one that has a very relatable creator, that feels a little bit more conversational, but also feels very well researched. That's what I engage with on YouTube. I don't tend to want to watch someone just kind of ramble to sort of make a video off the top of their heads. I want people to have done the work, to have scripted something, but still put their personality into that. It might sound like a lot that I'm asking for there, but there are plenty of creators that provide that fulfill that need for me. But that's going to be different for everyone else. For some people, they want a YouTube creator who's just like them. They want to feel like they know the creator. Maybe they want a more casual style of video. Maybe they want an impersonal style of video. They want YouTube content that's just full of interesting, exciting facts. They don't care about the presenter. They don't care about who is delivering them. You know, everyone's got their own things that they want. That's why it's so important to work out who your audience is and what it is that they respond best to. So have a think about that, and then have a think about your own content. Now, there are 4 steps that we are going to look at now, that are the steps towards creating really good, engaging content. We're going to look at all of these in more detail, but we're going to start with research and planning, then having your equipment ready, creating your content, and organizing and edit it. So first of all, research and plan. What are you going to create content about? Whatever the answer is, you're going to need to do a little bit of research. That might be research into the topic. You know, maybe you're going to do something a little bit journalism-y. Maybe you're going to investigate a particular topic. You're going to look into something in a lot of detail. Maybe you're going to use the research to find out what your audience is actually interested in, so you can create content based on their interests. We've got some screenshots here of Google Trends, which is a really good tool that you can use to work out what people are searching for online. But there's also the Find My Audience tool, which is available on thinkwithgoogle.com. You could even look at YouTube search traffic. Especially if you already have a YouTube channel, you can look at what searches people have been typing into YouTube that directed them to your channel. And that will help you understand, right, what is it exactly that people are interested in when it comes to your particular YouTube channel. Again, you can use that to analyze the trends, to analyze the current events that are going to help you come up with some really great topics for your YouTube channel. When you're planning, you need to think about more than just what's going in the video, but also what kind of video are you going to create. So one-off videos is one option. You can create a simple single video, get your message across without relying on a series of videos, just quickly impactful short video. That's an option. You could do regular videos, regular short videos. Now, when we say short form, we're really talking about 3 minutes or less. That's kind of what we would define as short form video. But if you look on YouTube right now, there actually isn't that many short form videos around anymore. Most videos are longer, and we're looking at more like sort of 15 minutes as a kind of median length of a video. But there are longer forms videos. Long form, again, we typically mean longer than 3 minutes, but that could be any length. The longest video that I personally have watched in one sitting is 3.5 hours long. It was a YouTube video essay that I watched that I found really engaging, that I watched start to finish. The longest video that I've watched in multiple sittings, I didn't sit through the whole thing in one sitting, but I have watched a video that's 10 hours long. 10 hours of content is an astonishing level of content, but it was engaging enough that I wanted to keep coming back to it and coming back to it. So, there's an audience out there for all sorts of videos, short form, long form, whatever you want to create. But it does depend on your audience. Again, I'm maybe not the average girl. I'm not somebody who's representative of the rest of the world. So think about your particular audience. Do they want short form content? Do they want long form content? Do they want maybe a series of content? So rather than doing one big video, could you split it up into several videos? Part 1, part 2, part 3. It might be worth testing multiple different types of video out with your audience, see which gets more engagement. And also, it might be worth starting small and building up to longer video rather than just launching into things with one big, massive video. Maybe start small so you're not putting hours and hours and hours of work into something that might not be the right thing for your audience just yet. So think about that as well. What's the right type of content, the right length of video? Think about how often you can release videos as well. YouTube's algorithm, certainly a few years ago, I don't know if this has changed actually, it's worth looking into, but YouTube's algorithm used to be very, very based on how many videos you could release, which meant that there was a pressure on creators to release as many videos as they can. What a really important question that you need to ask yourself is, how many videos can you release? Doesn't matter if that's one a day or once a week or once a month. Different types of video are easier to create than others. If you wanted to do a vlog, a video blog, for example, which is just a video where you film yourself just casually, just chatting, that can be done quickly. There's not much editing that needs to be done. There's not much planning that needs to be done. Just film yourself for 10 minutes and then post it. You could do one of those a day. You could do multiple of those a day. But if you want to do something that's well researched, that's maybe more of an essay style video, well, that's going to take a lot of time. So you're not going to be able to commit to once per week necessarily, unless you've got an established channel and you've got maybe a team of writers that you can rely on. So think about what your limits are and try and stick to them and be consistent. That's going to be really helpful for your audience if they know, right, it's Thursday. That means that this channel is going to release a video today, so I can look forward to that. It's going to help you build your audience. You could rotate content type as well. So you could maybe do short videos on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then a long video on Saturdays. Changing the type of content. Maybe as well, you could do specific content on specific days of the week. So maybe Saturdays could be all about tech reviews. Maybe Fridays could be all about fun facts. It's kind of up to you. But if you do that, then again, your audience is going to know what to expect. And so they're going to be able to anticipate it and get excited for it a little bit. Now, remember, even if you aren't telling a story literally, you're not sitting down and telling a little piece of fiction, you are still telling a story, no matter what kind of video you create. If it's non-fiction, if it's helpful tips, whatever it is, it's still going to be structured like a story. And that's the type of content that we maybe respond best to, is stories. So think about how stories work. Well, there's usually a beginning, a middle, and an end. In fact, there's always a beginning, middle, and an end. You can't really have a story without those three things. What the purpose of those three segments are, though, does differ. Now, your beginning is your hook. That is the thing that you do, the content you create to get people to watch more, to encourage people, to convince them that it's the right video for them, that it's the sort of video they want to keep watching. This is why, we have, again, think about stories. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a princess. That's your sort of hook. It's a really, really simplistic hook. It's a really simple type of story, but that is your hook. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, there lived a princess. It's telling you the type of story that it is. It's going to be a fairy story. It's telling you that there is a main character for you to get interested in, that is a princess. It's telling you that it's going to be fantastical because it's happening once upon a time in a land far, far away. So that's what's needed to hook people into that particular story if that's what they are interested in. There are going to be plenty of other hooks, but you really need to immediately introduce the aim of your video. What is this video about? Why should your audience keep watching it? That's what you put at the beginning. Then the middle is the engagement phase. This is your main content. This is where you try and get your particular message across. Always think about the message for each video. What are you trying to show people? If they can only take one thing away from your video, what would you want that one thing to be? Have that in mind as you plan out your video. That's what's going to be, you're going to want to keep coming back to that in the middle section. And then finally, the end and the call to action. So it's stereotypical now, but the vast majority of YouTube videos that I have ever seen have finished with, "Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe." There's a reason why YouTubers finish their videos by saying, "Don't forget to like and subscribe." That is their call to action. That is them telling you, as an audience member, here is what I want you to do. I want you to hit the like button and to subscribe to my channel. If you don't tell your audience what you want them to do, they're not as likely to do it. They might not even know what they should do. Give them a reason as well. It's stereotypical to say, "Don't forget to like and subscribe," but tell them, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more great videos like this. If you want to learn more about this fascinating subject, subscribe to my channel. That's giving them an incentive. It's telling them not only that you want them to do that, but also why doing that would be a good thing for them. So then we need to think about actually writing the script of your video. Now, you don't have to write a script. There's nothing saying that you need to write a script. Again, there is the kind of the vlog form of video, which is very unscripted, very natural. Vlogs are very, very popular. Depending on the type of video, depending on the complexity of the video, you might want a full script. If you are talking about any kind of subject that you've done research on, that maybe it's instructional, something like that, it's almost always going to be better to have a script. There's the phrase, 1 hour of planning saves you 10 hours of work. That very much applies here. Just an hour of writing a script. It doesn't have to be a massive script. It can just be something basic, but it gives you the prompts and the information you need to be able to read through it and deliver a really good video that's going to be engaging, and that you're not going to lose your place. You're not going to ramble. You're not going to go off topic. You're going to know exactly what to say and when to say it. And that's going to mean it's going to be very, very much easier for you to create that video rather than just, winging it and then ending up all over the place. So a few tips. Number one, speak directly to the audience. That's pretty standard for YouTube. Think of it like a documentary. You're having a conversation with the audience. You're talking to them. One of the things that people really do like on YouTube is getting to know creators, having creators talk to them, to have conversations with them, feeling like they know those creators. Those are really important. So speak to your audience. Write it in your own words. Write it the way that you would say it. I speak like this. This is my natural sort of form of speaking. I wouldn't write a script starting off, something like, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that a great YouTube video depends muchly on the creation of most wonderful content," as if I was like an 18th century baron. That's not how I speak. And it's not going to come across as natural. It's not going to come across as authentic. and people are going to turn off. I want to write it the way that I would say it so that it comes across much more natural, much more authentic, and much more engaging. And don't forget to read your script out loud. Some things, and this is, I'm telling you this with a lot of experience writing scripts and being told that they're not good. One thing that is really easy to slip up on is that some things are much easier to write than they are to say. You know, it's one thing to put the phrase 13 hungry hippopotamuses in your script, but when it comes down to it, are you going to actually be able to say that consistently and clearly? Think about, you know, how things come across. Think about whether you've written a sentence that's just really long and that you're struggling to have enough breath to finish it. You know, if you don't do that, then it's going to take you more time to film the video because you're going to have to stop midway through. You're going to have to go back, edit the script. So just do a little bit of a read through, read it out loud so that you can think, are there any bits that sound unnatural? Are there any bits that are hard to read out, that are hard to say? You can fix it before you even start filming. When we think about planning as well, again, the more planning that you do, the easier it's going to be to actually film the thing. Storyboards are a great option. Just thinking about the visuals, because it is a visual medium, right? We think a lot about scripts because we think about the words we're going to say, but this is a video. There are going to be visuals. You need to think about what those visuals are going to be. You don't need to be an artist. You don't need to do any kind of detail. You know, stick figures are absolutely fine as long as you've got a vague idea of what is the camera going to be looking at, where is everybody and everything going to be in the frame, so that you've got a good idea of what the video is actually going to look like. Think about the visuals, the audio, any props you're going to use, any crew you might need. Think about all those things when you plan this out and note these down in the storyboard. Because if you are going to, you know, again, if you're just going to be sat in front of the camera talking, well, that's pretty easy. You know, you don't necessarily need to storyboard that out. But if you want visuals on screen, if you maybe want a picture like we've got the slides, well, then that might want to be storyboarded so you can plan out, you know, what slides are you going to have, what images are you going to have, when are you going to have them? And then we can get into the actual process of filming, the actual practical elements of filming. Now, when you start out, you don't need a lot of expensive equipment. You probably have a good piece of equipment for filming in your pocket right now. And it's your phone. Most phones have got really good cameras. That's a real selling point for them nowadays. You've probably got a better camera in your phone than a webcam or than most cameras that you can buy for a reasonable amount of money. So you don't need to worry about the actual camera. You don't need to worry about the quality of the image because you've got something that's capable of filming that. You don't need to worry about editing because video editing software, there are two really good programs that are completely free. Those are Windows Movie Maker and is it iMovie? Yes, iMovies. Windows Movie Maker is for PC and iMovies is for Mac. So depending on what particular machine you've got, what particular operating systems you have, then you can choose which one of those. But they are completely free. They're fairly easy to use. They might be a little bit basic. It might be that you can't do really creative, unusual things with them. But certainly, again, when you're starting out, you don't want to commit a lot of budget. Windows Movie Maker or iMovie is a great place to start. And then lighting. One of the most important things that gets overlooked in videos is lighting. You are going to look loads better if you've got a good light on you. Now, we've got a great light available to all of us, and that is the sun. Now, the sun is natural light is one of the most powerful lights that you will ever get. It's why filmmakers, they quite often make a lot of use of natural light when they can, so that they can get the right shot, so they can get everything looking right. If you've got a window, film in front of that window. The light is going to be on your face and everything is going to be beautiful and clear. Just make sure the window is directly in front of you, shining directly on you. Because if it's at an angle, if it's to the side, you're going to see that. You're going to have one side of you really bright and one side of you really dark. And that's going to be distracting. So make sure you're not doing that. But lighting, I'm going to show you, in fact, lighting is so important. I've got just a basic ring light here. If I turn it off, you'll see just what a difference it makes. You know, I'm not in a particularly dark room. I've got a light on, but look how dingy it looks. Look how bad it looks when I don't have the light on myself. And then as soon as the camera adjusts, look how much clearer it is. Look how much more vibrant it is. Again, I'm not in a dark room. All the lights are on. I'm in a pretty well lit room. That's the difference a good piece of lighting makes. So it is really, really worth thinking about and really worth utilizing. Now, if you want to enhance your video, again, you can use, well, first of all, let's talk about the light that I just switched off, which is something called a ring light, which is a really just affordable LED light. I mean, you can buy a good ring light for about £20. I say a good ring light. You can buy a ring light for £20. Now, mine was £20. It's lasted years. The tripod broke. It's not very stable. It's all held together with duct tape. But you know what? It lights me really well. And that's the important part, the actual light. And that's still working. So they are LED lights. They are very bright. And they let you have a little bit more control. You know, if you've got just a window, yes, you've got really good light shining on yourself. But if the sun goes in, if there's a cloud over the sun, that can change the lighting. And so obviously you want a little bit more control over it. A tripod for your phone, that's worth thinking about. Obviously, if you're just sort of holding a phone, it's going to be shaky. And if you're balancing it on, you know, a pile of books or something, that's not the worst thing in the world, but it does mean that you're going to struggle to get the right angle. So a tripod can be really useful. A microphone. Now, the microphones on your mobile phones are not the best. They're not very good at all. That's because they're designed for speaking when they're right up here next to your face. So they don't have a lot of, there's not a lot of distance that the sound needs to travel to get to your phone microphone. So it doesn't have to be particularly strong, particularly good. I've got a little desktop microphone here that I use that I think that makes the sound a lot clearer. An external microphone is definitely worth thinking about, especially if there's a lot of speaking that you're going to be doing. And then, of course, video editing software. There are tons and tons of different options here. Some are better than others, but they've all got different features, so it's worth playing about with. But again, you might find that you never need that. You might find that Windows Movie Maker does everything that you need. So, you know, don't feel like you have to spend that money just because you want to enhance your video. You might find that spending that money actually isn't worth it. Top tips to think about what can be seen, what's in the background. You'll notice that we've got just a nice plain background. And the reason for that is because a background, if it's busy, it can be distracting. And it can mean so that people don't focus on what you're saying. They're looking at what's in the background. So think about what can be seen. Think about the space. Think about the sound quality as well. If you've got a lot of hard surfaces like walls or floors without carpet, the sound can bounce off them really easily, and you end up with a lot of echoes. I record. I'm here, you know, doing this video next to my window where I've got some nice big thick curtains, and I've also got this nice soft fabric screen behind me. And what that means is it just makes the sound less echoey, just a little bit more high quality. Some people record in their wardrobes or even under a duvet because that means the sound won't bounce around. Sound gets absorbed by those soft surfaces. So there's less echo. So that can be worth thinking about. And of course, movements. Do you want to move the camera? Do you want to move yourself? Do you want to move your hands, or is that distracting? You think about what you want to do in terms of movement. Then we can think about the basic edit, and there are 5 main steps to doing this. Number 1 is import and organize your footage. You're going to have to import your footage over from whatever camera that you've used to your computer, unless you're doing the whole thing on your smartphone, which you can actually do. When you import your files over, it's a good idea to name them and make it clear what they are so you don't get confused, you don't lose them. Then you can look at maybe adding visuals, maybe adding sound effects, maybe adding an intro or transitions or things like that. This is also where you might want to sort of merge different shots together. You know, maybe you want the first shot to go here and then here and move it around so that you might have done multiple takes of the same shot. So make sure you're organizing it in that way as well. Think about your sound. Listen to your audio with your eyes closed. If you've got multiple audio sources, maybe you're speaking, but you've also got some music in the background or something like that, then you might want to think about the levels of those. You can also do color corrections to make sure that it looks really good. And then finally, you can export your video and upload it to YouTube. So pausing for questions. Looks like we have none at the minute. So I'm going to take a nice big drink because I'm losing my voice. And we will move on to the final section, which is getting discovered and tracking your success. Very important. You don't want to create those videos and nobody to watch them. It can be quite demoralizing when you're creating a video and nobody is there to watch it. So it's very important that you think about how you're going to get discovered and also how you're going to track your success and how you're going to work out who is watching you, how many people, things like that. So we're going to look at that now. So first of all, enhancing your video's discovery. Remember that YouTube is a search engine. And it works like other search engines. You type in your search term, you think about what you're searching for. Again, maybe soup recipe. And YouTube is going to look for videos that use those keywords, soup recipe, to find out what videos are going to be the most relevant to you, the user. So you need to think about making your title, your description, your tags, things like that, as searchable as possible. That's why we use tags. And of course, then we also can promote our videos. We can talk about them on social media. We can maybe even do paid ads. And all that is going to make your video found much more easier by more people. So thinking about keywords then. So a really easy thing that you can do is use the autocomplete suggestion on YouTube. And all that is that you start typing in the kind of thing that you create. So in this case, I think we're probably still looking at detailing world here. We might start typing in car cleaning and see what comes up. Car cleaning guru, car cleaning hacks, car cleaning tips, car cleaning satisfying. That's going to help you understand what people are searching for and what kind of words you would want to put in your YouTube video title or description, so on and so forth. Keyword Planner is a really useful tool that you can use, which is from Google Ads, that helps you identify popular keywords. Again, using these things is going to help you work out what words you should be using in your title, thumbnail, all that sort of thing. And that's why we want to think about putting those words in titles and descriptions to make them searchable. So what we want to do is reinforce the important words. We want to make it identifiable. We want to make it really clear what type of content this is. Maybe there's a series, maybe there's a particular brand, maybe there's a particular type of video that you have. Make it as clear as possible. So looking at this top one here, we've got Mama Cherry, mini lemon meringue pies, brackets, easy dessert recipe. You can probably guess why she's done that, which is that if somebody is looking to make mini lemon meringue pies, they will probably search for mini lemon meringue pie recipe, in which case they're very likely to get this video because those are the words in the title. But what if they don't know specifically what dessert they want to make? What if they just want to make something that's pretty easy? They're probably going to search for easy dessert recipe. So by putting that word in the title, that phrase in the title, that's making that video much more discoverable. Now, you want it to come across as natural. You obviously don't want to make videos that are just crammed full of keywords, but that's the basics of how to do it. And then we've also got reinforcement in the description. So Mama teaches you how to make mini lemon meringue pies is listed there in the description. It's got Mama teaches you, so it's very clear from the description what kind of video it is. It's teaching, it's telling you how to do something. But we've also got another instance of the keyword mini lemon meringue pies. That's reinforcing to YouTube what the video is about. Very useful. Again, think about the brand, think about the series. So down at the bottom there, we've got Super Sorrel's emotional reaction to the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker trailer. Reaction videos are a genre of video. They are something that lots of people watch. So people know what to expect. If you put reaction in your title, people understand what kind of content it is, what kind of type it is. And again, we've got the trailer, we've got the Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker trailer, the title of the film. That's going to be there, especially because people are going to be searching for that trailer. So that's a search term that's going to be used a lot, especially if that trailer's just come out. So creating content that's not only about this thing that's just come out, but also that covers the reaction, that uses those words in the title, is going to make it even more discoverable. You can add tags as well. They're a little bit like hashtags on Twitter and Instagram. What they basically are for is that they're to tell YouTube what type of video your video is if it's not clear from the description and the title. So, for example, this video, we've got toy haul and then a whole bunch of different types of toy. And the tags that Super Sorrels use are haul, toy haul, and shopping haul. They've used some synonyms there because you don't know what people are going to search for. Maybe they're going to search for toy haul, but maybe they're going to search for shopping haul. Rather than just use all those keywords in the title, which doesn't look natural and looks spammy, we've used tags instead, and that's why you want to use those. Remember to build your community. Integrate your channel into your website and integrate your website and your social media into your channel. Provide places for your community to go. So it's not just that they can watch your videos on YouTube, they can also go to your Twitter page or your Facebook group or your Instagram page and get more content and more community. So make sure you're linking all of those things so you can build that community up. And of course, don't forget to promote. It's the other way around. If you've got a social media page, post about your YouTube channel. Post, when you've got new videos released, post about them. Just talk about the process of making videos and things like that. So that, again, people have got a place to go where they can watch your videos, where they can engage with your content, they can get to know you as a creator and become more of a fan of you, not just watching your content, but actually becoming a fan, becoming enthusiastic and following your progress, your career, things like that. Now, when it comes time to analyze your users, there is something called YouTube Analytics, which is something that records your channel's data, basically. So who is watching? What time of day are they watching? What are their demographics? How many people see your videos coming up in the search? How many of those people click on your videos? How many don't click? All of this is really useful information. You can see it broken down video by video as well. You can see, how much watch time you have, how many subscribers you've got, the amount of revenue you're making from your channel, all sorts of things like that. You can use this to work out, well, a really simple thing you can work out with this is which of your videos are the most popular. And then you can work out why. What is it that is common with the videos that are really popular? What is it that your audience really likes? That can help inform you about what kind of content you make in the future. Really, really worth knowing. So, how do we measure our success? What should we look for? Well, number one, is my content reaching users? Well, what we can look for there is something called impressions. Now, impressions are the number of times your content has been seen. So every time a viewer comes across one of your video thumbnails on YouTube, that is an impression. Now, that person doesn't have to click on your video. They don't have to actually watch it. They just have to have seen that it exists. So that impressions is telling you whether you are actually turning up in the search engine, which is good, right? That's really useful. It's a really good thing to know. But it doesn't tell you how many people are watching your content. It might be that your content, you've got really good keywords. Your content is appearing in a lot of search engines, but maybe people aren't clicking on it. Now, you can measure this with something called the click-through rate, which is just what percentage of people who see your content click on it and watch it, or at least start watching it. Now, the click-through rate is really important. If you've got a low click-through rate, it could be that your videos are turning up in the search, but maybe your thumbnails aren't encouraging people to click, or maybe your titles, you've got the keywords right, but they're just not giving people a reason to click, a reason to watch. Maybe you've not really judged your audience. Maybe try typing in the search terms that your videos come up for and look at the other videos that come up for those search terms. See if there's a sort of a common thread in how they market themselves, that maybe you're marketing yourself in the wrong way there. You've also got views, which you can use to see just how many times your content has been viewed, which is a useful metric to see, how many people are watching you. And then we've got engagement. How long are people watching your video for on average? Your average view duration is a really good piece of a really good data metric, because you can do it video by video. On average, how long did people watch this video compared to this one? That's going to tell you not just how many people were interested in clicking on it, but how many people were actually engaged with it, how many people thought the content was good and worth watching. So those are all ways of measuring your success. Now, we've gone through loads and loads of things today. I'm just going to see if we have any questions. I'm going to guess that we don't. No, it looks like we've not got any questions at the moment, which is absolutely fine. So let's have a look at a recap of what we have gone through today. So what we looked at first of all was finding your niche, and we looked at 3 big questions. What is your channel about? Why does it exist? And who is it for? If you can do that, if you can answer those 3 questions, you've already probably got a good idea of the type of content you could be creating. Then we looked at the process of creating engaging content. It's all about taking your time and doing the work beforehand to make it easier for you when you come to film. So research, plan, choose the right type of content, be consistent. That's something we didn't really mention, but it's important to be as consistent as possible, so that you've got a consistent brand that people can understand, that people can look at and can expect from you. And then we've got getting discovered and tracking your success. Again, don't forget to use keywords. Don't forget to use YouTube analytics. And don't be afraid to try something new. Even if the analytics and the data doesn't suggest it, it might be that you've got something that could work really well. And it's worth just trying it out and seeing what the data says. Excuse me, I'm bookending this video with a sneeze. It's a very weird brand for me. So yeah, don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to use new types of content to engage your audience. So that is it. So what are the next steps for you guys? Well, there's a few things that you can do. And a big thing is, if you are working for a small business or for a charity in the UK, you can sign up for a free mentoring session over at g.co/UK mentoring. Again, completely free for anybody working for a small business or charity based in the UK. And the only thing left to say is thank you. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for anybody who had any input. If you'd like to carry on learning, remember we've got other Digital Garage webinars. They are all completely free. They're all available for everybody at every time. So do check those out. There's bound to be some really great ones that are going to provide you with exactly what you're looking for. And of course, if you've got any feedback or questions about today's session, then you can use the email address team@thedigitalgarage.co.uk, which should also be in the video description. Email the team and you can get those questions answered and get that feedback registered. But other than that, the only thing to say is a big thank you to Alison, who's been a fantastic moderator. Thank you to everyone for watching. And I hopefully will see you again on another Digital Garage webinar in the future. So take care, everyone, and bye-bye.